I apologize in advance for all of the nature sounds that will be in the background of this video. It's just way too hot for me to not have the window open while I film today. Everybody, my name is Danny and welcome back to my channel. Today I have the first installment of my very own TBR game. Woo! Now, if anybody knows me at all, then they know that I love TBR games, and so I thought it is high time that I create my own. And so this one, which I am calling Skee-B-R, is based off of Skee-Ball, or at the very least, miniature Skee-Ball, because I have this really dinky looking cardboard version that I got at the dollar store that I'm low-key obsessed with. I think it's hilarious, and I will be using this to choose my books each month. So why don't I explain the rules? So basically there are 5 different holes that the little Skee-Ball ball can land in, and there are 3 in the middle worth 10 points, 20 points, and 50 points as you go up, and the 2 in the top corners are worth 100. So it's a simplified version. I think regular, like full-size arcade Skee-Ball has a couple of more holes with different point values, but that's the version that I have, this little cardboard desktop game. And so I will roll my ball. I have 4 little plastic balls, and so I will do 4 rolls each month. And if it lands in the 10, 20, or 50 point hole, then I will choose books based on different categories. And those categories are aesthetics, page length, and genre. So basically I will rotate through those. So if aesthetic is the 50 point hole, page count is the 20 point hole, and genre is the 10 point hole, after I make a roll, I will then shift them downwards so that those categories are for a different number amount, just in case I'm really bad at this and I only get things in the 10 point hole. We still get a variety of categories chosen. So if it lands in the hole that is corresponding to aesthetic or genre, I will choose from these 2 little recycling bins up here. The green and blue ones are full of papers, one full of aesthetic descriptions and one full of genres. So I will just shuffle them up and pull one at random and choose a book that fits that. If I land in the hole that corresponds to book length, then I will roll a d8, and then I will just choose a book with up to that many 100 pages. If I roll a 1, it will be between 1 and 100 pages. If I roll a 2, it will be between 101 and 200 pages, and so on and so forth. And if I don't have any books that fit that page range, I will just find the closest thing possible. And so I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions about this, let me know down in the comments and I will gladly clear anything up for you guys. But without further ado, why don't I just get rolling to see what I'm going to be reading in June. Now, June I am participating in the Whatever You Want-a-thon, or just Whatever-thon, hosted by Maddie at Book Browsing Blog, so I will be trying to fit my rolls from here and pick books that correspond to different prompts and stuff to get me points for that readathon. If you're interested in joining, I will link her announcement video in the description for you to check out. It sounds like so much fun, and yeah, let's get to this. Okay, so here we are set up on my floor because that's the only clear space that I had to actually do this. I have little tabs to show where each point value is. So orange is aesthetic, behind that pink says genre, and green says length. I know you can't read that, but I can from where I am, and it just lets me know which one is the 10, 20, and 50 point respectively, and I will rotate that through as I go through the rolls. Okay, so I'm going to roll lefty because it just makes more sense with how this is set up. So why don't we just give it a go and go with roll number 1. Alright, so roll number 1 hit the 10 points, so I will choose a book based on aesthetic prompts. Okay, so for roll number 1, I rolled into the 10 points and I got to choose an aesthetic prompt. So those are in this green little bin, so why don't we give it a little shuffle, got some ASMR for you there. And let's pick a prompt. We're gonna go with this one. A minimalist cover. And I'm not gonna replace these prompts for the month, So I know I have, and I'm not going to replace these prompts for the rest of the month, so if I end up with more aesthetic prompts, I will pull from what's left so I don't get the same prompt over and over again. And the same thing with genre. So why don't we just pick a book with a minimalist cover? Alright, we are starting off big this month, and for minimalist cover I am choosing Odin's Child by Siri Pedersen. This isn't the most minimalist cover I could probably find, but it is still pretty minimalist with just simple fonts, a little logo up the top, and the whip. And I'm actually going to be buddy reading this, and so I'm really glad I got to fit it onto this TBR. And this is a chunky book, so let's hope the rules are kind to us from now on. So as you can see, I have rotated the categories. Now genre is the 10-point hole, length is 20, and aesthetic is 50. And let's give it a go with roll number 2. Roll number 2 is also 10 points, so this time I am picking a genre prompt. Alright, so for roll number 2, I rolled in the 10-point spot again, and for that I get to choose a genre prompt. So those are in this blue bin, so let's give it a little shaky, and let's see, let's go with this one. Historical. Not a genre I read very often, but I think I have something in mind. Alright, so for historical, I am going to choose In the Shadow of Blackbirds by Kat Winters. This is a book that I actually got from the dollar store. I just picked it up on a whim because the cover was pretty interesting, and I read the synopsis and I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun, and for $1, why not? And this counts as historical because it takes place in the early 1900s during the Spanish flu outbreak. And I think there are some supernatural elements in here. I'm not really sure. We're gonna find out, and I'm gonna read this next month. The cards have been shuffled again, so now length is 10 points, and so on and so forth. I feel like I'm going to be getting a lot of 10 points these early rounds as I get used to actually rolling this, but we'll see. Maybe one day I will hit the 100 and get a free choice of what I get to read. For now, let's just go on to roll number 3. Okay, so I hit the board a little bit, and I actually kind of broke it, but it's fine, it just goes back together. But for that one, I actually hit 20 points. And even though I hit the board, I'm going to take it. So 20 points is another aesthetic prompt. Okay, so book number 3, I actually rolled into the 20-point spot, so go me, that's pretty cool. And so I get to choose another aesthetic prompt. So here we go, shaky green bin, and let's go with this one. I have an award mention on the cover. So this actually would have worked with the last book that I chose, but I chose it for historical, and I can't double up on prompts. So let me try and find something. So it turns out that I don't have any other unread books that have an award mention on the cover. So we're just gonna redraw for that. So little shaky shake. Go with, oops, they're all clumped together. Hardcover book. Pretty simple. Let me find something. Okay, so for a hardcover book, I'm going to go with Saving Montgomery Soul by Mariko Tamaki. And this is another book that I just picked up on a whim from the dollar store. Just look at this beautiful cover. I couldn't say no to that. And so this is actually the smallest hardcover book that I have on my shelves. I'm going to take it because I've already picked up 2 pretty chunky books, so let's get a thin one on there. So I'm going to be reading this in June. We have shuffled once again. And so we're just gonna see what I get for my final roll. Roll number 4. And roll number 4 is yet again 10 points, giving us a third aesthetic prompt. Which, you know what? That's fine. I'm still getting used to this, and this is the first iteration, so things are a little wonky, but we're gonna roll with it. Okay, so for roll number 4, I have yet another aesthetic prompt to choose, because I rolled another 10 point. So, little shaky, let's hope I can actually find something with this prompt this time. And we are going to go with, oop, I have 2 here, let me grab something else, just to be fair. I only have 1, yep. Cool tones, so green, blue, and purple. I'm gonna look for something. Okay, so for cool tones, I'm going to be choosing White Teeth by Zadie Smith. This is a contemporary book, which again is not really something that I read, and I don't know much more about it besides then. I have read Zadie Smith before. When I studied abroad in London, I read NW for a class. I don't remember anything that happens though, that was 4 years ago. But I remember I enjoyed it, so let's check out another one of her books. I'm very interested to see what I think of this. And so these are my 4 books that I have to read as part of my Skee-B-R TBR. I have Odin's Child by Siri Pedersen, In the Shadow of Blackbirds by Kat Winters, Saving Montgomery Soul by Mariko Tamaki, and White Teeth by Zadie Smith. Now, there are several other books that I want to read for the Whatever-a-thon taking place in June, and so I'm going to be reading more than 4 books. My goal for the readathon is actually 8, and so I'm actually going to give a poll to you guys. I have no manga on this TBR, which is sad because I love manga so much, as we are all well aware. And so I'm going to put a poll in the cards for you guys to vote on, and the options are going to be the next volumes in all of the manga that I'm currently reading. And so that's Full Metal Alchemist, Mob Psycho 100, Jujutsu Kaisen I can put because even though I'm currently caught up, on June 1st, Volume 10 is being released, Demon Slayer, and I feel like there's some I'm missing, My Hero Academia. I'll figure it out, and I will choose the top 1 or 2 that get voted for in the poll, and I will prioritize reading those during the month of June. And I think that's it. This has been an interesting experience. I'm very happy to finally have my own TBR game and to have it be something so unique compared to everyone else. I'm proud of myself for that. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can feel free to subscribe to my channel for more content. Comment down below if you have a TBR game, or if there is someone on YouTube that you love their game, and I would absolutely love to check it out. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!